Warning! What you are about to see may be considered by some to be somewhat disturbing. It's certainly very out of character for the chap, and I mean very out of character. I've checked with his missus and apparently he's okay after this turd polishing exercise, and she reliably informs me that he hasn't been down there smoking cat poop or anything, so that's good. Anyway, I'll let him take you down to his workshop where you can see what he's been tampering with.
Hello and welcome back to the workshop. Now, this, I thought you might be interested in a little video diary of my current project. Now the project is to fit these grips onto a standard Russian Tokarev frame. Now these grips are meant for a Zastava M57, so the Tokarev clone, but which has an extra round capacity, therefore the frame is slightly longer than the Russian one. The sellers of this, there are Serbians who produce this grip, do say that they will fit the frame of a Russian Tokarev, but it does need some fitting, and the fitting that's needed is that on this grip the let's say the centering protrusion here is about 1 centimeter longer, because the frame is longer due to the extra round. So the tricky bit is to get inside there and remove 1 centimeter from the centering protrusion there. They do provide a short video on what is to be done. Unfortunately, they don't really explain or give advice on how it needs to be done, apart from just do it. So, being an engineer, I like to measure things, and the easiest option I found was simply to measure the distance from the bottom of the protrusion up to the edge of the grip, and then add 1 centimeter on, and that would be then my depth, which in this case was 22 millimeters. So it was 1.2 or 12 millimeters without shaving off a bit, so add 10 millimeters, 22 millimeters. I don't know whether that's standard, so if you do this, just check your grips and don't take my word for it. And then how to take that 10 millimeters off? Well, we have the famous Dremel. This is just the wood grinding or sanding tube, the smaller version, and simply then set the edge here for 22 millimeters, and then carefully, with a good eye and keeping it steady, take away the centimeter there on each side. So I'm halfway there, and I really recommend doing this with a mask because it stinks when you grind away at it. It's probably not the healthiest of things to breathe anyway. So I'm still doing it. They do recommend to remove the what do you call this, lanyard loop. I'm going to try, because I want to keep it original, to drill through at the right space on this grip so that it can just flip over the grip with the loop without needing to remove it. If not, well, it's not a big issue. So I'll see how it goes, and hopefully when it's all done I can show you how it just slips in. So, the moment of truth. So I've cut away the required 1 centimeter. Not too tidy, but it should do the job. And I've also cut a slot for the lanyard loop. If I've done my guesstimates correctly, the slot here is exactly where, if I turn it over, the between those two points here. So if you just drill 2 holes and then carve out the stirrup between the two, as I did here, the lanyard loop should hopefully pop in there, which will help it hold it in place. So again, according to the instructions of the seller, I said to liberally lube the inside, as we all know. A little bit of that always helps. And now just got to push it all the way in. And there we have it. Looks like it fitted in on both sides. And lanyard loop is sitting there, out of the way, but still in place. So, yeah, it gives it a nice grip. So here it is after a bit more fitting. In fact, I found out after a bit of trial and error that you need to gouge out a little deeper. So here I was at 23.5mm deep for it to sit truly flush. You can see inside. I hope you can see inside. That sits nice and flush with the frame. And the other thing I'd overlooked, of course, was the retainer for the magazine catch. There's a bit here normally, which of course makes pushing the button very difficult. So again, you need to gouge out a little wedge to give this space to move. So that's all done, and this is the other side. As you can see, the lanyard loop is nice and snug in there, and it doesn't protrude, so it's not going to interfere with your grip. And all this was done with very simple tools. This was a 3mm drill bit to drill out the 2 spots like these here which were there, and this is a spherical burr, 3mm as well, just to dig out the channel. It also helps to smooth out the edges, like on that, make it nice and smooth everywhere. Tidy up inside, very useful. And the main thing for gouging out the extra material on the guide protrusion or guide lug in there is the narrow sanding drum. So with that and the hand drill or the pencil grip bit, that's all you need. So the next part of the project is obviously, as you can see, is quite deep now, the extra bit of the grip, and as I said, the sellers recommend just putting this on a belt sander and removing probably about up to here of the grip, which is a bit of a shame because it's such a nice grip. So the problem is, of course, you put the magazine in, yeah, now what do you do to get it out? So it would need to be pretty much level with the lanyard loop here, or whatever that was used for it to be flush with the bottom, and then you could well, hopefully drop out, or maybe even make it a bit longer so you can pull it out, because at the moment it's really a bit of a challenge to get it out. There we go. So the first thing to do will be to open this out a bit like the magazine well for race guns. So get the sanding bit again and just flare this out. And what I'm going to do, purists block away your ears, is also to reduce the toe here of the magazine a bit, just grind it away ever so slightly, so that then it'll go in and out without catching on the rubber. Again, the alternative is to work away a bit inside here. I think I'll do a bit of both. It's not as if Tok magazines are that rare anyway. So I'll do that to both. And the next stage will be probably to make a wooden dummy of a magazine extension. Then make a negative mould of that, probably in Play-Doh or plasticine or something like that, and then fill it with the JB Weld, push this into the mould so that the stuff goes in through the loop here, wait for it to set, and then hopefully demould it, and it should be almost ready for use. It might need a little bit of tidying up, but anyway, that is the grand theory. Let's see if it works. So here we are a few days later, and upon reflection I thought that my whole casting idea was a bit of a silly idea and doomed to disaster. I did go part of the way. Here was the wooden blank that would have served as a negative to create the mould, but yeah, so I had second thoughts. I thought, what's the likelihood of it going to set properly and fill properly? What happens if I want to dismantle a mag while it's in the gun for some emergency reason, however improbable? So in the end I went to this. Yes, this is just a doorstop, but it's made of nice hard rubber. So I got two of these, cut the ends off, and made these nice rubber mag extensions. So yeah, even if they drop on the floor, no harm done. They're nice and easy to cut and to trim down with a grinding tool, grinding wheel. And they're stuck on just with some double-sided foam backing tape, the kind of thing you can stick coat hangers and things to walls without screws. So rated at 100 kilos, so this is not going to come off. If I want to take them off or need to take them off, I can just cut through the foam and eventually use some solvent to clean it up. So this is also reversible. As I said, I did trim ever so slightly the toe of the magazines just to make it easier for insertion, because there's only so much material here in the mag well, here on the end. There's not too much before you start, or chance of grinding through to the other side, so it's a bit of a compromise. So there we go. Once they're in, they're almost flush. They've got something to grab once you're empty. So there we go. What's done is done. If you like it, great. If you don't, never mind. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out our Facebook, etc., etc. Good night.